Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Paranormal Q&A with Jack, Kenna, and Carly Hall. Carly Hall could not be on with us tonight. She's got some important gaming stuff going on. She's, if I'm not mistaken, she has a tournament tonight, so she has to do that with her team. But she was supposed to be back this week, but that came up, so she's doing that with her team online tonight on Twitch. So hopefully she'll be back with us next week. Actually, next week we're going to be taking a break for the holiday for July 4th. I'm off on Monday, so we're not going to do the show next Tuesday, just because I'm going to take an extra day off and hang out a little bit and get some extra stuff done. So July 6th we will not be online. We'll be doing more stuff though. We'll be back. Should be back the weekend after that. But again, July 6th we will not be on. Hello, Bob Burnell and Keith Bailey. How's it going tonight? And I'll make that announcement again in a little bit, just as we get more people coming on here. So, but if you got your questions here for us tonight, let me know. I didn't have anything planned to really talk about, again, because this show is always about you and your questions regarding paranormal. Hey, John McGinnis, how you doing out there? And I'll just say again, Carly can't be on tonight because she's got a match going on with her gaming stuff, so she has to be doing that tonight. And again, we'll be off next Tuesday because I'm taking an extra day for the holidays, weekend and stuff. Extra 2 days actually. Well, I'm off on Monday for our job. We get the 5th off for the holiday, and I'm going to take an extra day beyond that. So we will not be doing that. Oh, Carly's feeling better, Keith. Like I said, she's just she has a match tonight with her gaming stuff she does on Twitch, so she has to do that with her team that she's on there. It's just a conflict, and she has to do that because they pay her, so she's got to be doing that tonight. So you got me all to yourselves once again. And yeah, again, if you guys have any questions or anything you'd like to talk about, share it out there. Again, I didn't really plan too much for tonight because, again, it's always about you and your questions out there, what our show is about. And we've had a few things going on. We got some things coming up the end of this month, end of July. Carly and I will be down in Tennessee for an event down there. That's July 31st is the event. We're going to take a few days to do some traveling, and we're going to see maybe stop and see my son in Virginia on the way down, and go from there. Hello, Ellen McNeil. How you doing out there tonight? There's my lovely Ellen. And the weekend after that, August 7th, Ellen and I and the Spirits of New England team have an event on the USS Salem out in Quincy, Massachusetts. We'll be doing kind of a meet and greet, a little lecture and investigation that night. So I know a lot of you are coming to that. It's great. We do only have, we've cut back on the number of people we're going to invite. So I actually do only have like 5 tickets left. So if you're somebody out there who wants a ticket, I got 5 left. I can extend that to 6 if we got people with 2s that want to come. But we basically have 5 tickets left. I'll be doing an announcement on that tomorrow. And I don't know if Keith is talking to me or Ellen, but he says, "Are you psychic?" And the answer to that is, well, I am, and Carly is, and Ellen, no, Ellen is not psychic. See, I go to Joe. Keith does say, "What do I think about the government releasing the UFO info?" I actually think that's an awesome thing. Kind of been like others. I'm not really a follower of all the UFO stuff. I have had my own experiences stuff, but even I've known with my own experiences, there's stuff out there, man, and it's not from this world. So where is it coming from? But I'm glad to see the government is finally releasing actual footage and and that report, I haven't read that report yet, but they're releasing information about the UFOs, and they don't know what they are. Some people are saying, well, it could be China or Russia. No. They steal most of their technology from us, and we don't have this technology. Our government's saying that. They don't know what it is or where it's from. So it's amazing stuff, and hopefully we'll be hearing more. It's got to be something, right? It's got to be something from somewhere. I do think it speaks more to the possibility of alien life, or maybe life on this planet that's evolved faster than this and we don't know about. Who knows? It could be that too. I'm just throwing that out there. So interesting, very interesting stuff, and I'd like to know what everybody else thinks about that too. And Bob Burnell has a question. He says, Jack, how do you feel about spirit boxes? Thinking of bringing mine to the Salem. I would definitely bring your spirit box to the USS Salem. Bob, I do use them. I have had a lot of success with them. I think we just talked about this a little bit last week too, in previous weeks. But I do like the spirit box. I would definitely bring it. We're probably planning on doing a spirit box session there. So if you have a spirit box you'd like to bring, do it. We can use yours for the session or mine, or I don't think Ellen has one, but I know I do. But yeah, it definitely bring it, Bob. Definitely bring it. And I do like the spirit box. I just can't listen to it a very long period of time. The SB7s and stuff like that. And hello, Karen. How you doing out there tonight? Barry Martz, good to see you as well. I have read your last message you sent. I just haven't had a chance to get back to you on it. I will do that though. Barry and I text message on the side. We've been talking mostly about the traffic out in Boston. Yes, traffic even on the weekends in Boston is rough, to say the least. You just got to plan ahead. But you can always get around. You just got to plan yourself the right amount of time to get from point A to point B. But traffic is always rough. It's a big city. Boston's a big city, so you're going to have major traffic out there, even on weekends. It's not quite. It depends. It depends on what's going on the weekend. If they got a baseball game or something like that, it could be even worse than during the week. But for the most part, usually the weekends are a little bit less hectic than during the week. I've been out there many times, as Ellen knows, and I've been caught in all kinds of traffic. But I would say this. Traffic going into Boston is basically nil now. You just keep going because they did away with the toll booths there, and you basically just drive through. They have the automated toll systems now. You don't even need an Easy Pass. If you don't have one, you don't need one. I do have one. But it takes a photo of your license plate, and they send you a bill in the mail for the toll. So you don't even have to worry about that. If you're coming in and you don't have an Easy Pass, don't worry about that. Bob Maloney, good to see you out there. And can't wait to see you guys there next week. A lot of you know where I'm staying, and if you want to share that information with others, where Carly and I will be staying for that weekend, we'll be staying at the Holiday Inn over near the airport. It's Holiday Inn Express over there. I gave a few people the address. If you all know each other and you want to share that information, that's fine. You can join us there. I know a few of you are going to be staying there with us for the 2 days. We're going to be there Friday and Saturday, Carly and I. I know a couple others are just staying over Saturday night. But we're going to be there Friday and Saturday night because we're going to spend a little bit more time with our spirits team that we haven't seen in ages. Alan McNeil, as you know, I told you, will be coming out Friday, and we'll get to hang out. So we're probably going to leave a little bit early, I think, that Friday and just go out and hang out. Steve White, how you doing out there? Always good to see Steve. And again, if you guys got any other questions, but I think the UFO thing is really cool. I'm glad you brought that up there, Keith. Because it's as much as they're bringing out, I can't wait to see what might come next with all that. We've been, talking about UFOs for decades and decades. Now the government's finally admitted that, they don't know what these things are. So, it's very cool. I'd like to know what everybody else thinks about that. Yes, very correct. Holiday Inn in Revere is where we'll be staying at. Again, Hurley and I will be there Friday and Saturday night. So if you want to stay there where we are, that's cool. Um, we'll be going over to this USS Salem a little bit earlier than everybody else, just to get things set up and stuff. We're going to head over with Ellen and the team, Spirits team. So a little bit earlier, probably than most everybody else, because we've got everything set up for you guys and be ready for you when you get there. I believe we are. I'll check that. Well, you guys know the times again. So just be there in time to have dinner. So you want to have something to eat and stuff like that, and we'll be supplying pizza and salad and soda and water. If you want to bring something else to drink, besides what we're bringing, that's okay. You guys can do that. But we're going to try to, have just like plain cheese pizza. We'll have a few different pizzas anyway. Try to cover everybody a little bit. Bob says he could walk there in 10 minutes. That's true. Yeah. Some of you are lucky that way. You were very close. Steve asked you what thoughts are on Skinwalker Ranch. That's getting very interesting. That's, again, I believe, on tonight, starting at 9 o'clock. I've been watching it. I've seen every episode, and I think this season 2 has gotten very interesting. They're finding some interesting things under the earth now. So, yeah, it's possible, I think, maybe a meteorite crashed there. I mean, if you look at the ranch, it's kind of bowl-shaped, as they talk about. Maybe there was a meteor impact there. Maybe that's where all this extra energy they're measuring is coming from. Maybe it's connected to the UFOs that we're finally hearing about. There's something definitely going on there. And I have been enjoying the show. I'm looking forward to seeing the next one again tonight, too. So very cool. If you guys haven't checked it out, check it out. Yes, it's on the History Channel. Secret of Skinwalker Ranch. It's on at 9 o'clock every Tuesday night. But check it out. I mean, if you can catch it on demand, if you have on-demand stuff, catch it there, because you want to watch from season 1. Season 1 was a little slow, a little boring, but this season 2 has really picked up. They're actually really getting into doing some on-site digging and doing some interesting on-site testing, which I believe these things they're seeing could be what they're referring to, spirit portals or just energy portals of some kind. We know in this field we run into spirit portals. I've run into them, just floating in midair. EMF readings that you can take that are extremely high, and they're kind of ball-shaped, almost kind of like what these guys were running into on Skinwalker Ranch. Ball-shaped, and it's just floating in midair. And it just stays there. It stays in one spot. It doesn't even really move around. So it's interesting. And I have come across that on different investigations. So it's kind of interesting stuff. And Steve would ask me, Jack, have you ever heard a voice coming from a shadow person, possibly? I've heard disembodied voices. I can't say I saw a shadow figure at the same time or anything like that, so I can't associate it with a shadow figure. But I have heard disembodied voices and caught them on audio. And sometimes heard disembodied voices and not caught them on the audio recorder. And they were very loud, so interesting. But I can't say I've never been able to associate them with a shadow figure. I've seen shadow figures, and those are very interesting. I do think when you see those, you are looking at some type of spirit or some type of entity of some kind. I've seen them both on just regular haunting cases and demonic cases. Usually the shadow figures I've seen with demonic cases are distorted or a shape of something very odd or unusual. In more spirit hauntings, human spirits, it's always been like the shape of a person and the size of a person. So I've seen them in private cases. I've seen shadow figures on the Star of India, the ship out in San Diego, at the Maritime Museum there. I've investigated there. I've seen shadow figures a lot of different places. but I can't say I've ever heard a voice that I could associate with them. And Barry's just bringing this up. There's a series special on History Channel. Oh yeah. We started speaking. Yeah, Secret of Skinwalker Ranch. Yes, and that was what we were just talking about just before I answered Steve's question. Well, the Salem has always been very active. I can't say just this year. Every time I've been on this USS Salem, it's always been very active. I've always had a lot of activity and had stuff happen there. So I even saw a shadow figure there before and been touched on the shoulder when I was seeing the shadow figure. Interesting. And that was down in one of the berthing areas on the ship. So interesting, yes. But it's always been a very active place. And Carly and I were there actually last year. We went there with Chris Sanders and his group, and we had a lot of activity when we were there. Even a photo that was taken that's a hand moving in front of me and Carly of a picture that somebody else took. So I'll have to show you that, guys, that when we're out there. Make sure I bring that up during the talk we're going to do. And Barry's talking about, I'm just going to put this up there because he's talking about tonight's episode on Skinwalker Ranch. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing tonight's show. So I'm just going to throw that up there. And Steve has another good question. I always love Steve's question. I love everybody's questions, but I love Steve's questions. Would you think an intelligent spirit can actually see a shadow person? Anything's possible, Steve. I mean, I'm just going to leave that up there for a minute. Anything is possible. Not being one of those things, I can't tell you if they can or they can't. I haven't witnessed anything to make me believe that they can or they can't, one way or the other. But usually shadow persons are associated with intelligent hauntings. So they usually are an intelligent spirit, typically. So can they see other shadow persons, shadow people? I suppose in some circumstances they can. We do know some spirits don't see other spirits from that maybe passed away in other time frames or time periods. So I'm not sure, but I wouldn't rule it out, Steve. I wouldn't rule that out. I just have not can't say I have any evidence of that one way or another. There any haunted history of Cape Cod? Yes, actually, Sam Beltrusis did an event there, and there is haunted history out there from some murders. One is just from some murders that took place out there by a serial killer who lived out there. Women he murdered in sand dunes that are out there. There's also some just very historical sites that, of course, have activity out there. Ellen went out to investigate one many years ago with another team that we were friends with. I did not get the chance to go on that. But there has been, yes, there is hauntings out there, and people have investigated locations out there. And we did some investigating out there of actually the location that we were staying at. There was where the event was being held out there in the Cape Cod area. So very, yes, there's definitely activity out there. There's all kinds of history out there, and there is hauntings out there. Barry, I have not. I have never run into the child spirit that's supposedly on the USS Salem. There's supposed to be a dog out there too, I understand. I've never run into either one of those. I have run into sailors, spirits of sailors on there, but I have not run into the child, although other people claim to have, and I do believe them. Don DeCristofano is one of them. So I know it's there. I have never actually even tried to interact with it, with that child spirit, but it might be worth giving it a shot this time. Let's go around. And maybe the dog, for that matter, because there supposedly is a ghost dog out there. And Bob asks, are you splitting us up in groups? I was there on the Salem, James and Neo and Carl Johnson. It was nice to see James. Yeah, I remember we were supposed to be there with him, but we couldn't make it that weekend, Carly and I. It was very noisy as far as the investigator goes. And I always plan anytime we've got like a group of 10 or more, we do split them up. We actually have decided to reduce the number of people, so we won't have too many, but we will be splitting you up into groups so that we can investigate different areas and it won't be too noisy like you're talking about. Some areas are a little bit larger, so you can have more people at some time. But we're going to start off the night with splitting you guys up into groups and taking you at different locations on the ship, so that you can investigate a little bit better. We are going to do that. That's just kind of our modus operandi, so to speak. It's the way we operate. As the night goes on, usually what I find is people gravitate towards each other and they investigate different areas, and it usually works out really well. And Bob Burnell says it's going to be his 5th time on there. That's well, then you know the routines on there. And you know what's going on. Carl Mitchell, he says, hi, gang. I'm going to put it up there. Carl, where you been? I don't think I saw you last week on the show. Good to see you back. And Ruth, good to see you out there, Ruth. Ruth just says, hi, good to see you. Good to see you as well, Ruth. Again, if for some of you who didn't hear, Carly couldn't be on the show tonight. She's doing a match with her gaming stuff online tonight, so she could not make the show tonight. And we are not going to be on next Tuesday because I'm taking an extra day for the long holiday weekend. Because I'm a federal employee, so we get Monday off since the 4th is on a Sunday. So I'm going to take an extra day. I'm going to take Tuesday off. We're going to be doing some other stuff, so we will not have the show next Tuesday, just so you guys know. I'll do an announcement on that over the weekend, though, just so everybody's aware. We will be back the Tuesday after that. Karen says, Bob Burnell, are you trying to avoid me? Has he not said hello to you, Karen? I'm going to put that right up there so he can see it. I'm sure he's not. Maybe he is. I don't think so. And of course, Bob does say, hi, Karen. No, sorry. And hello there, Parker. I'm going to say Parker because I do not want to try to pronounce those other 2 names. I will get them wrong. I just don't want to be disrespectful and get your names wrong. Parker, I can pronounce. I always have trouble with names. Is it Queen? Like Queen or Queen? I don't. You'll have to give me a pronunciation on that one, my friend. And Steve has a question. So Steve's question: Jack, is it possible to close an active portal if things are getting out of hand? You can always close a portal if you know how. Sometimes they don't stay closed. Beware. But you can close one. There's different techniques to that. Everybody has their own technique. I envision when I'm closing a portal, per se, I envision it like a torn sheet of cloth with light coming through it, and I sew that cloth up until the light no longer comes through. I also do prayer while I'm doing that. I just pick a prayer that I like to use. A prayer of Saint Michael I like to use when I'm doing that, and you take time and you do that and you close the portal. So you can. It doesn't mean it will completely stay shut, because the spirit can sometimes reopen portals. But you can try to do it. It doesn't work for everybody, but everybody has different techniques. If you're not sure how to do that, if you've never tried it before, I would say try to get some practice with it, but also have somebody there who knows, been doing it for a long time, knows how to do it, and they can teach you. They can actually teach you how to do that. And hello, my sister Michelle. How are you doing out there tonight? I know you're right downstairs. So I guess I got a queen, correct? Is that how I pronounce it? I got it right? Did I get that right? Okay. All right. Thank you for confirming that for me. All right. Again, Queen, if you got any questions out there, this is a Q&A. We answer your questions about all things paranormal. So if you got any questions, throw them out there. And Barry has put this up. Have you heard about the case of the burned sailor victim that was brought aboard the USS Salem and the USS Cleveland? Not sure. I have heard of it. I know there was burned victims that were brought aboard the USS Salem from the mothership. I know there was victims from different areas. They never saw. You got to remember, this ship was never in battle. It never fought in a war, but they did help a lot of victims of earthquakes and different natural catastrophes that were brought on board, and they cared for them. Some of them died there. There is stories of a lot of women gave birth in the hospital there on the ship, and there is stories of being able to hear women screaming from there as if they're giving birth. So I have heard of that. Don DeCristofano, if he comes on tonight, could confirm that for you. But yes, there were burn victims that were brought on the ship, and many other types of victims from other things, natural disasters and stuff like that. Again, this ship never saw a battle; it was never a war. So, be aware of that. The things that are there is either sailors who had passed away on board, or individuals who had passed away on the ship, or in some cases it's sailors who seem to have come back to it because that was a very special place to them, and they seem to be hanging out there. They're still watching their ship. In some cases, I think some things are residual, like the sailor who's seen at times walking down the hallway and will walk right past people. And he seems in a hurry, but he never recognizes anybody. You just see him. So I do think that's something more residual. There is a video about it, about the USS Salem. Don actually was in one of the shows that touched on it. I can't remember the name of any of the shows, but if you look up USS Salem on YouTube and stuff like that, I'm sure those shows and some of the videos about that are on there, and you can check that out ahead of time. Let's see. And Steve Weiss, Jack, do you know Boston College also has some haunted history? I found this out when I was in Boston, did some research. Yes, and there's also Fisher College there, which we used to hold events there at one time. The Spirits in New England used to hold Halloween events there every year. We also investigated it before we held events there, and that's a very haunted place. I don't think they let investigations that go on there anymore, though. Not that I'm aware of. Maybe they do. But Spirits isn't running them anymore. There's also, we were invited, I think, to Boston College by one of the people there doing like a story on paranormal investigators, and we get to kind of hang around the college and check things out. We really didn't get to investigate. They didn't have permission to do a lot of stuff, as they told us they did. But it's college kids, they're trying to get a story written. We still help them get their story done. But yes, that is haunted, and a couple of the other colleges out there, Harvard, is haunted out there as well. And Queen says, I'm doing my genealogy, and I've been in the graveyards a lot, cleaning headstones. Is it possible to bring spirit home with you? It is, Queen, but it's not likely. Actually, I mean, I've been to a lot of excuse me. I've been to a lot of graveyards, investigating, not investigating, that were related to cases. Just been to, of course, I visit my parents on occasion, and I'll be in a graveyard and stuff like that. It's not likely that you're gonna bring something back from a graveyard with you. I've never run into that. Could it happen? Yes. If you're worried about that, there is techniques you can use to protect yourself. There are different types of stones you can use for protection, like quartz crystal, white quartz, also black tourmaline. You can buy these things right on Amazon.com. There's stones, there's different types of crystals. Barry knows a lot about crystals. And you can carry these for protection. And also, if you have a faith that you believe in, you can say a prayer before you go in to these locations and ask for protection from whatever it is you believe in, to protect you from any evil or negative spirits, things like that. So there's different things you can do. And, you can try these different things that will be helpful if you are concerned about that, or if you do believe you've brought something back. You can always reach out to somebody within the paranormal that might be able to give you some guidance or point you to somebody that can help you. And yes, Barry is correct. Barry is correct. Amy and Adam from Kindred Spirits just did an episode on the USS Salem. I have not seen it. They always do really good investigations, so I'd be curious to see it. I'm sure Don was somehow there when that was going on. So it'd be interesting to ask Don DeCristofano if how things went with that, what he thinks of how Amy and Adam investigated that. And Linda Lou says she's having problems with buffering tonight. I was worried we might have some problems here tonight because of storm we've been having. So we've been having thunderstorms and lightning storms on and off today because of the weather, very hot weather. But so far, so good. Yeah, we haven't lost any internet yet. And Liz says, sure, now you get in. Well, it's okay, Linda. You can still ask your questions anytime. And also, you can rewatch the show when it's over because it'll still be on here, and you can rewatch it. You can also rewatch it on our YouTube channel. It's Paranormal Q&A with Jack, Kenna, and Carly Hall. We have our YouTube channel there. You can always catch it there. Any of the past shows. And Queen, you're welcome very much. Not a problem. We try to answer people's questions to the best we can. And John, of course, says his question is, how are you guys doing? Sending love. We're doing fine, John. It's all good. Been wondering how you've been doing too. So haven't seen you in, oh my God, almost 2 years. It's been a while. Hopefully we will see you down at the Gettysburg Bash. And hopefully maybe I can't remember if you said you're going to end up doing your event this year or not. So if you're not, we'll see you at the Gettysburg Bash or nothing else. But we're always around if you need us. Just let us know. And if I had already agreed to do an event with you, remind me, because sometimes I forget if it's been a long time. But I don't think we have. I don't think we've set up anything for this year. As far as I know, John. So reach out in case I'm mistaken. And Barry's just giving some advice to our friend. I see. Oh, and here Bob posted a link to a video on the videos on the USS Salem. So there you go. There's a link there on I believe it's probably YouTube. No, it's Facebook. Okay, it is Facebook. So there you go. Check out the videos on there, USS Salem, that Bob Burnell posted. Make sure you check those out if you're coming, and even if you're not coming. And Marianne Mackey, yes, good to see you on. Hope to see you at the USS Salem myself. So I know, again, a lot of you are coming, so I'm really looking forward to seeing a lot of you there. And it's going to be a good time. We're going to have a lot of fun. And again, that's August 7th. That's a Saturday. Looking at this. Clicked off of accident. Have you ever heard about an active haunted power plant? Seems like it would be a place to go if you're in the spirit world. Well, I know this. There's a lot of haunted areas around the old 6 Mile Island down in Pennsylvania. And there was a location that you could investigate at one time, was the Holderman Mansion. We got to investigate there. It's no longer open for investigations. The people decided to close it for that. But that was a very haunted location. I do think it was helped to be powered by the radioactivity that was released at 6 Mile Island there. Potentially, could 6 Mile Island, the plant itself, be haunted? It could be, but it's they still have a crew there that monitors it, and because they have to keep an eye on it, even though it's sealed off, and they have to monitor the radiation that's sealed off down inside. So it is still a closed location. You can't get in there for a lot of obvious reasons. But I do believe, like even water power plants probably have hauntings in them, or generate a lot of activity just because you have all that water energy going through. So even water power plants, like find a lot of those up in Canada and stuff, and even out in Arizona. Dam. Oh my God, I can't remember the name. Why can't I remember the name? It's a huge dam. Everybody knows that dam. Anyways, out there is known to have hauntings on it as well, believe it or not. You can't investigate it, but people who work there have reported seeing spirits and stuff out there. So, and yes, power plants, dams, things like that generate power. I don't doubt they help feed hauntings, even if not at the locations themselves, in locations around them. So, and Teresa says, thinks you have a few spirits that live in her bedroom. Hey, anything is possible. Anything is possible. You may have some family members that hang around. You just don't know. And yes, hello again, Marianne Mackey. Oh, that's the other thing I can tell you guys. Well, you guys already took my course. A lot of you back in 2018 at Hudson Valley Community College. But I will be giving my course, paranormal course, again this year at 2 different colleges. It'll be at Hudson Valley Community College here in New York, and also SUNY Schenectady in Schenectady, New York. So that's going to happen in the fall season. I think I'm running on both of those September into October, and they're both on the same weeks. It's just, one's going to be on Tuesday, one's going to be a Thursday. I do believe the areas are far enough apart where, if you live in Schenectady, it's kind of ways to come, or below Schenectady, it's kind of ways to come all the way to go to Hudson Valley for the course, and vice versa. So I think those 2 colleges will make a nice, separation to allow more people to come to the training and stuff. So I'll be giving my course, Paranormal 101 course, again this year at both those colleges. Hopefully we'll do Paranormal 102 course next year. And because we kind of have to start it over again after the whole COVID thing. So hopefully we're doing that. And Teresa's talking about she has a shadow figure, likes to change its height. When I say that I see you, and it stays small. Interesting. So is it trying to hide from you? There's a question. Is it trying to kind of become smaller to keep you from seeing it? Or is it pretending to be as an adult and then it pretends to be a child? I don't know. But that's interesting. I find that interesting, Teresa. And Queen says she never thought about that. Marianne says she's passing the word on about the thing. Yep, it should be coming out here shortly in the the flyer that the course flyer they put out in both those colleges here pretty soon. Because they have all the information. I gave them everything, so they're going to be doing that. Unfortunately, this year we can't do an actual investigation. We're going to be doing a lab. We kind of did work out something that's going to be kind of a quasi investigation, but it's not a real live investigation because they still won't let us go off campus this year. Either one of the colleges don't allow off campus parts of the courses this year. So unfortunately, we will be doing a lab part for one day in the process to try to make up for that. So we'll be actually kind of mimicking and doing an investigation, kind of a mimicked investigation. Who knows? Maybe we'll find something in those colleges. I don't know. Everything's possible. Yeah, Steve asks, can dogs actually sense and see spirits? Seems like they. Oh yes, absolutely. Animals in general can sense and see spirit because you got to remember, animals see in a different light spectrum than us. They can actually see in infrared, like the cameras that we use to try to capture spirits ourselves in the infrared spectrum. The animals can see in the infrared spectrum of light. So they can see things from time to time. They can also sense them. They have a stronger sense of smell, a stronger sense of hearing. And I think they just have overall stronger senses, like in being able to tell that something is there. And just because your dog may be reacting or cat may be reacting funny in your home, remember this. They can hear things, other animals that might be between your walls that you don't hear. So remember that. So if they always seem to stare at a certain location or certain wall or something like that, you may want to check into seeing if there's any possibility that there could be rodents in there, things like that. Always look for the more natural reason for that to be going on before you jump to anything paranormal. But yes, they can. All animals can sense, I believe, spirit. And Queen says, I grew up watching you, Mr. Kenna. So it's such an honor to find you on Facebook. I've been on Facebook for longer than I've been doing the TV stuff. But thank you. I appreciate that. I think that's awesome that you actually kind of grew up watching the shows that I've been on. They're not my shows. I've only been on them. And hopefully we'll be doing more. I'm all about trying to educate people. And anytime I do shows and stuff like that, I always try to be as honest as I can from my own experiences with spirit and investigating to tell what really I felt was going on. When you hear me talk on those shows, I'm giving you my real honest opinion of what I believe was happening or what was going on at the time. So, and Barry talks about maybe there could be some new cryptid creatures wandering around there at the 3 Mile Island. Who knows? I mean, Russia does claim to see these things. Are they really cryptids, or are they just, have they been, I guess, affected by the radiation? Let's just put it that way. Have they been distorted by it, manipulated by it? Or are they true cryptids? I mean, something completely new that came about because of the radiation. It's hard to say. But there are definitely some things, like with Chernobyl anyway. 6 Mile Island, probably not. I mean, they didn't have the type of radiation release that Chernobyl had, obviously. They didn't have a complete meltdown. It came close. Chernobyl, there could be stuff. I mean, you just don't know. Maybe that's where some of these strange cryptids that people have been seeing lately are coming from. We just don't know, like the creeper thing they talk about, stuff like that. Who knows? Who knows? But cryptids are very interesting. We do, again, I'll remind people, we have a good friend of ours who's into Sasquatch, and that is Steve Culls. And he has his own show on Sunday nights called The Squatch Detective, which you can catch on YouTube. So you can look Steve up, look it up as a Squatch Detective, and you can catch his shows on YouTube on Sunday nights. I think it comes on at 9 o'clock. I can actually even post that for you. I'll try to post that later on for you guys. after the show. And Teresa's talking about the shadow figure. It doesn't try to hide, just let me know it's there, and doesn't. It very well could be either a spirit that's just connects with you, Teresa, or it could be a family member. We really don't know. We've talked about this before, I know, and we're not totally sure on that one. But it's not, it's not negative in any way. We know that. Okay, Steve's last question. He says, I don't think I missed it. Here we go. Last question is: spirits have no weight to them. How are we able to hear footsteps, knocking sounds, impressions of spirits sitting down and moving things? Well, think of it this way, Steve. Everything has actually some type of mass to it. All right, but thunderstorms, right? The thunder itself is just a sound that's created by, hot and cold air mixing together, right? So it creates a sound. Lightning, it's all energy, right? So energy can create noise, right? It doesn't necessarily have to have a mass or be solid to do that. And I believe spirit is the same way. Some cases with footsteps and stuff, those can be residual. It's just a sound that's repeated over and over because that energy is trapped in the building, in the stairs, in the wood of the building itself. So it's an energy. It's a sound. It's the energy that's releasing to make that sound. I would say this: when I've captured EVPs, almost every single time I've captured an EVP, if I'm running a video, I've captured a release of some type of light energy, some type of orb, or whatever you want to call it. Some type of light anomaly will go by, either just before or just after I've captured EVP. So I think what you're hearing is that's the release of energy that happens to make that sound. So it's energy. Think of it that way. That energy is making that sound, just like with a clap of thunder. Okay. You don't have two clouds smashing together to make the noise, right? It's atmospheric pressures and different things like that are going on to create that noise. Same thing, same type of thing going on with spirit. So it's just all about energy and how that interacts. And my sister asks, have you ever investigated Fort O'Brien? No, I have, although it's possible that one of our friends, Chris, has. We'll see. I think he's on here tonight. But he lives in Maine, so it's possible he has. And I know you've probably been up there, Shelley. Yeah, the War of 1812. That's right. That's what that fort is associated with. I have kind of investigated Fort William Henry up here in Lake George. I got a chance to do that, just me and Carly, with a little private session with the people running the ghost tours. Everyone at a ghost tour, they kind of recognized who it was, and they asked me if I'd like to do a short investigation with them. So we did at the very end. But no, I have not been there. I don't know if anybody else has. Maybe somebody else has been up to Fort O'Brien up in Maine. If you have, let Shelley know. And I'm not sure what Linda Lou is talking about there. Says some of the best are with Jack Kenna. I don't. Okay, are with me. So okay, whatever shows, she says. Okay, there you go. Well, I appreciate that. I don't watch my shows myself very often. I watch, I think, of each of them once when it first was on, just to see how it looked and how it was presented. But other than that, I really don't watch my own shows. So I appreciate that. You guys appreciate them, and you like them, and you like how I present myself on there. I just always try to be honest. That's all, and tell what I know. I don't try to tell what I don't know. What I don't know, I don't know. I can give you my own theories on things and my own ideas on things. Some things I just don't completely know. I see. Here's a good question, Bob Burnell. Will the government release files on the paranormal? You know, they have reports and studies. They do. I don't know if they ever will. I mean, you know, they did the studies on psychic abilities. We know that for remote viewing and stuff like that. They did that, and some of that was released. I don't know. You know, nobody bugs them about that. Maybe if we just ask them, maybe they give them to us. Who knows, right? We haven't asked. The Freedom of Information Act. If we really wanted to know, we could ask about it. We just got to dig in a little bit about which ones they know about. And through the Freedom of Information Act, you can request those records. And they might send them to you. I'm sure some things will be redacted, probably a lot, but you might glean some information from them. Hey, Regina's on it. How you doing out there, Regina? She throws out. Hey, Jay, it's a really good point regarding animals being able to sense spirits because they have more. They do. We used to have the same, except the eyesight. Humans never had infrared, as far as we know, infrared sight ability. But our own senses were much more heightened if you go way back. And I believe that whether you go by the Bible or whether you go by, the natural development theory, either way, I think human senses were much more developed and heightened earlier on because, you know, we don't have to use it. We're not hunter-gatherers so much anymore, right? We don't have to necessarily have those abilities to sense other things around us or pick up on other things around us in order to hunt to survive. But we did at one time, you know, and because of that, our senses were more heightened. We haven't had to do that much lately. So for some of us, it's not. I do believe hunters have a better ability of more heightened senses because they do hunt. I can say that for myself because I remember when I used to deer hunt and stuff and go hunting, I was much more aware of what was going on in my surroundings around me out there. You could hear things that most people wouldn't even pay attention to because you are listening for small animals and you're listening for all this stuff. And you can hear a mouse rustling in the leaves underneath. If you really listen, you can hear that happening because your senses are heightened. You're listening for all this stuff. And your smell is heightened. You can smell when there's an animal around, believe it or not. You can smell a deer sometimes before you see it. That would happen on occasion because they have a distinct odor to them. So, you know, and animals still have that because they do hunt to survive. Still, many of them. But they carry over. And dogs and cats, they carry over those instincts. Cats are still hunters. Dogs, not so much. But the dogs, domesticated dogs, still do carry over those senses. Theirs are probably not as heightened as, say, wolves or a wild dog or a coyote, but they still have those heightened senses. So something to think about. Asked me if I watched Exhibition Bigfoot. I have. I think that show. I don't care for that show, to be honest with you. I think it's kind of a joke. I don't think they're taking it really seriously. I really don't. I don't care for it. The reason being, very first season they said there was a really remote area. There's no way in there, and you can't drive in. And then they drive a vehicle, and you can see the tracks going in. And when they show one of the maps, you can see the logging road leading into there. So it wasn't as remote as they said it was. They made it sound like, oh, you had to hike to get back in there. No, you didn't. There was a logging road that led in. So I don't totally trust that show. I don't really watch it on a regular basis. I don't like them. I liked Finding Bigfoot much better. I think they really did try to do stuff there. And there's some other Bigfoot and Sasquatch related shows that I like better. I really don't care for that show, to be honest with you. I just don't. I'm not putting them down. They can do their own thing. Fine for them. I think if you like it as entertainment, that's fine. I don't think they're really. I don't know. I don't care for the ship. That's all I'm gonna say. Um, and let's see. Wait a second. That was the stuff we were talking about. Yes, hey, Bob Rails, great question, Steve. Steve always has great questions. And yes, we actually, Steve just pointed this out. I just realized we're getting close to the end here. So one more question before you have to go. Have you ever had any interest in going to the Warren's Museum? I do have interest in going there. I always have. I've just never made it there, but I would like to see that. I'd like to see John Zaffis's place too, his museum and the stuff artifacts he has. I would love to check those things out and look at them. So yes, I do have an interest. Maybe a bunch of us can go sometime. I never got to meet the Warrens, unfortunately. That's something I'm probably going to regret. But I appreciate what they did for the paranormal community and the strides they made in their research. And, demons are real. Evil is real. Good is real. And demons and angels are real. Ed was right about that, and Lorraine are right about that. I've witnessed it myself. So, and we are almost at the end, so I do have to wrap up. If I didn't get to your question tonight, I do apologize. If you're looking for any good books, you can find any of mine online at Amazon.com or BarnesandNoble.com. If you would like to attend one of my classes this year, as soon as that information comes out, I'll be posting it and where you can sign up, whether you'd like to go to Hudson Valley or whether you'd like to go to SUNY and Schenectady. But if you like, again, we still have like 5, 6, I'll say right now we really have 5 tickets left for the USS Salem. If somebody needs a double when I'm down to the last ticket, I'll make an extra ticket available. But we are down to basically our last 5 tickets. If you would like to attend that, if you haven't decided on that yet, please come and join us. You can get the tickets online at our spiritsofnewengland.org website under our events page. Just go there and you can check out spiritsofnewengland.org, and you can find your tickets online there and more information about it there. Again, I'll be posting that. And just Barry says John Zaffis Museum would be interesting to see. Yeah, I mean, I'll get to these. I do want to get to these places and check them out. And I'm interested in all that stuff. So of course, I would love to go there and check things out and to have a little chat with John. And I've met John, and I actually John gave me his phone number. I haven't very called him except once, but I should call him again and just have a chat with him. See how things are going. I know he's doing events again, so that's always an awesome thing. All right, thank you, everybody. It's been a great show. Thank you all for coming. Thank you to you new people who stopped in, Queen and stuff like that. Again, join us. We will not be on next Tuesday, again, because of the 4th of July. I'm making a longer weekend out of it. So we will not be on next Tuesday, but we'll be back the following Tuesday. I will put out an announcement like that. Thank you again, everybody, for coming on. Love you all. Miss you all. And we will see a lot of you on August 7th at the USS Salem. Good night, everybody. Love you.